My name is Makayla Reese, and the title of my poem today is titled Brown. Do you ever wonder what it feels like to be infatuated with a color? It holds the most restful gaze that every day I wake up, it has implanted a picture on my face. Many decades and centuries, many people discard this color as a sad case. However, let me tell you about this color. This color holds strength and power, like the most beautiful glowing sunflower. It grows against the oppression and struggle, always ready to fire, but at one point, real subtle. At that stage, in a certain day and age, but as time goes by, that color's blood starts to boil like a great big fish fry. Susceptibility grows to anger as turning the crackle and shock of a never-ending broken hanger. Even through that, the color grows and grows, setting new trends that other people try to copy, but they only make it unsatisfyingly in cricks and bends for the subtle instance that they won't make amends for the monster oration of themselves filled with lies and crooked behavior on skyscraper shelves. Even through that, the color still stands bright. No ounce of fear or fright. Now please, give a big welcome and a round of applause. And no, it's not good old Saint Nick Santa Claus. So turn your frown upside down, because the most intuitive, smart, momental, and decade-changing color is here, and it is brown. Thank you. Tragic incident has occurred in Billy Joe's life. She's a smart, timid, but talented 14-year-old girl, never knowing how to escape the dust and poverty. And to make her circumstances worse, dust storms are destroying her family farm and bleak landscape of Oklahoma. And Karen Hesse's Out of the Dust, Billy Joe struggles to find peace in her serene reality. As summer week came right, so did I. Born and raised on the kitchen floor, Ma crouched, barefooted, bare bottom, over the sweat boards, because that's what Daddy said it'd be best. I came too fast for the doctor, bawling as soon as Daddy wiped his hair around the inside of my mouth. I hollered myself red the day I was born. Red's the color I stayed ever since. Daddy named me Billy Joe. He wanted a boy, but instead, he got a long-legged girl with a wide mouth and cheekbones like bicycle handles. He got a red-headed, freckle-faced, narrow-hipped girl with the fondness for apples and a hunger for playing fierce piano. From the earliest I can remember, I've been restless in this little panhandle shack we call home, always getting in Ma's way with my fidgety legs. By the summer I turned 9, Daddy had to give him up about having a boy. Finally, whew! He tried to make me though. I look just like him. I can handle myself most everywhere he puts me, even on the tractor, though I don't like it that much. Mom tried having other babies. It never seemed to go right, except with me. But this morning, Ma let on how she expected again. Other than 3 of us, there's not much family to speak of. Daddy, the only cabin left since Grandpa died from a cancer stayed up most of his skin, and our Ellis almost 14 years older than Daddy, living in Lubbock, way south of here, and a whole world apart to hear Daddy tell it. And Ma, with only great Uncle Floyd, old as ancient bones, and mean as a rattler, rotting away in that room down in Dallas. I'll be nearly 14, just like Daddy was when our Ellis was born. By the time this baby comes, when did Daddy get his boy this time? On Monday, Ollie Wandale, who teaches music once a week at our school, asked if I'd like to play a piano solo at the Palace Theater on Wednesday night. I grinned, pleased to be asked, and said, that'd be all right. I didn't know if Mom let me though. She's an old mule on the subject of my schooling. She says, you stay home on weeknights, Billy Joe. And mostly that's what I do. But Arthur Vanderbilt says, the management asked me to bring them tongue, and Billy Joe, I thought of you. Even before Mad Dog cracked, I wondered, you and Mad Dog. Arthur Vanderbilt said, darn, that blue-eyed boy with his fine face and his smooth voice, twice as good as any plywood has any right to be. I suspected Mad Dog come first to all of Wendell's mind, but I didn't get too riled. Not so riled I couldn't say yes. The day before the president's ball is coming. But there's one problem. Mom. Sometimes Mom's busy in the kitchen, or scrubbing, or doing wash. I can ask her something in such a way, I annoy her. Just enough to get an answer, but not so much I get a no. That's where I finally gated what I want, by catching her off guard, especially when I'm asking permission for playing piano. Right out, asking her is no good. She always gets testy about me playing, even though she's the one that truly taught me. Anyway, this time I caught her in the slow stirring of biscuits. Her mind or other things, maybe the baby growing inside her, I don't know. But anyhow, she was distracted enough, I was determined enough, and this time I got just what I wanted. Woo! Wait! Permission to play at the palace. When I point my fingers at the keys, music springs straight out of me. Right here, playing notes as sharp as tongues, telling stories. While the smooth buttery rhymes back me up on the left. Folks sway in the palace aisle, grinning and stomping and out of breath. Eyes shining, fingers snapping, feet tapping. It's the best I've ever felt. All the women there drove me home after. I walked in and Mom was cooking dinner. I had to set the table. Mom had rules for setting the table. I placed plates upside down, glasses bottom side up, napkins for the forks, knives, and spoons. When dinner was ready, we sit down together and Mom says, now, we shake our napkins and spread them on our laps, exposing neat circles and round comments on what life would be like without dust. Daddy says, the potatoes are peppered plenty tonight, Polly, and chocolate milk for dinner, aren't we in clover? When really, all our pepper and chocolate milk is nothing but dust. In the kitchen, she is my mom. In the barns and fields, she is my daddy's wife. But in the parlor, she's something different. She isn't much to look at. So long and skinny, her teeth poor, her dark hair always needing a wash. But from the time I was 4, I remember being dazzled by her whenever she played the piano. Daddy bought it, an old gift. She came to his house and found gaps in the walls, a rusty bed, no running water, and that piano gleaming in the corner. Daddy gets soft eyes standing behind her while she plays. I want someone to look at me that way. Anyway, this time, on my 5th birthday, Mom sat me down beside her, started reading me music, started me to playing. I'm not half as good as Mom. She could pull Daddy into the parlor, even after the last milking, when he's so beat, he barely knows his own name. And all he wants is a mattress underneath his bones. You've got to be something special to get at his nose that time of the day, but Mom can. I'm not half as good with my crazy playing as she is with her fine tunes and fancy finger work. But I'm good enough for Ollie, I guess. Many days the crossreaders sprout to pay off the bills and even feed us. Mom says everything we lost when the banks closed because they didn't have enough cash to go around. All the money that's ours is coming back to us in full. Good. Now we have enough money for our doctor when the baby comes. While the dust blew down our road and against our house and across our fields, up in Canada, a lady named Elsie gave birth to 5 baby girls all at once. I looked at Mom, so pregnant with just one. Can you imagine 5? She lowered herself into a chair. Tears rolled down into her tight stretched belly. She wept just to think of it. Man, I sure hope Mom had this baby. The next day, I woke up happy and overjoyed, just to play the piano. Woo! Hey! But I got burned bad. Daddy pulled a pail of kerosene next to the stove and Mom, fixing breakfast. Think it was filled with water, lifted it to make Daddy's coffee, poured it, but instead of making coffee, she made a rope of fire. It rose up from the stove to the pail, and the kerosene burst into flames. Mom ran across the kitchen, out the porch door, screaming for Daddy. I tore after her, then thinking of the burning pail left behind in the bone-dry kitchen, flew back, grabbed it, throwing it out the door. I didn't know Mom was coming back. The flaming oil splashed her apron and Mom. Suddenly, Mom was a column of Judges ready? Oh, how I remember the beautiful day of the 4th of July and all the fun festivities of water guns, barbecuing, family laughter, and most importantly, my favorite, the fireworks. Woo! Whee! All the oohs and ahs and screaming from little children. However, my joy then turned to anger as I came upon an awakening moment. I remember one distinct day in hand that has left an endeavoring mark. At the age of 15, I came upon the realization of my independence when I found out about Juneteenth. All this time, I was hypnotized under the illusion that my independence is the same as my fellow peers. Unfortunately, it is not. For the simple physical appearance on the backside of my hand. Ladies and gentlemen, I did not come here to please your ears with the excitement and joy for what many people call the most glorious day in America, the 4th of July. 170 years ago, a former slave named Frederick Douglass was chosen to give an oration to celebrate the so-called national holiday that gives benefits, freedom, justice, and prosperity to all. However, at what expense did this so-called land of the free cost? What was clearly stated distinctively in Frederick's oration titled, "What to the Slave is the 4th of July," he exemplifies issues in current era 2023 that expresses the simple yet explicit depiction of civil inequity, social and unconstitutional injustice, and the illusory response to affirmative action. Although, to many outsiders looking in, they can perceive there has been change throughout those 170 years. Such as the freeing of slaves in 1863, the Reconstruction era from 1867 to 1877, the right to vote in 1865, and we even finally received a national holiday for our independence named Juneteenth on June 17th, 2021. But again, that is on the outside looking in. So, I will give you the inside out. The points stated in Frederick Douglass' speech 170 years ago are still relevant today. Juneteenth used to be one of the most celebrated Black holidays for all African Americans across the nation. But this soon started to dwindle. This holiday was originally created to emphasize the official date that slaves were freed from the shackles of slavery in all states, not just on the East, but in Texas as well, on June 19, 1865. Due to the current capitalism of our National Independence Day as a product, rather than the educational and astounding importance of this dear special day for all Blacks across the nation. For a nation that constantly preaches how you don't have any independence and you should go back to your country, surely likes to participate if it is profitable in their pockets. They say equality over equity to make it seem like it is a fair agreement between Blacks and whites, but it's an illusion used to hinder us from the backstabbing tactics America had used against us. For instance, the gentrification of Black neighborhoods across the nation. The government has said that it used to better the environment in the community. However, it is just used to push the Black residents out so the white resident can move in. As stated in the Black Agenda report, Brooklyn, New York is the epicenter of gentrification, the displacement of Black people from cities in this country. Recently released census data shows that neighborhoods like Bedford-Stuyvesant, which were nearly all Black for decades, no longer has a Black majority. Furthermore, Frederick Douglass exemplifies the expression of, "But your fathers who had not adopted the fashionable idea of this day, of the infallibility of government and the absolute character of its acts, presume to differ from the home government in respect to the wisdom and the justice of some of those burdens and restraints." Many policies today are stated back to that speech in 1852, such as the color of law. This policy exercised that a state officer, regardless of whether the acts are within his or her limits, had the authority to conduct himself or herself in the official course of duties. Many police officers have timelessly overly abused their authoritative power to supposedly solve crimes. Dun, 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 dun. No. It is stated in the Washington Post that in the past decade, the police have failed to make an arrest in nearly 26,000 killings, while 18,600 of those killings involve black victims. While police have arrested someone in 63% of the killings of white victims, they did so only in 43% of the killings of black victims. Where the killings are rising to an all-time high, more and more and more, the arrests are becoming more of a rare solution, such as the last result. From the traumatic beating of Emmett Till on national television in 1955 to 61 years later, in 2016, when Keisha Michael and Marquinton Sandlin were brutally murdered in their sleep because they supposedly looked dangerous, unconsciously asleep in their car. It is these instances that demonstrate time after time after time again, since the beginning of when Frederick Douglass' speech was chosen to explain to the white audience of what freedom is to a black person at that time. Alas, for us to break free from the hypnotic illusion of what the white society has bestowed upon us. The illusionist unreasonably uses affirmative action to help black people receive jobs they may not be qualified for. As stated in the article listfoundation.org, you are not permitted to create affirmative action plans that jeopardize the validity of your job or educational qualifications. According to the United States Supreme Court, planning must be flexible, realistic, reviewable, and fair. Although we must break free from this matrix that cannot be solved with just a 1, 2, 3 solution. In order for the black community to see change from the white society, we cannot give them another 170 years to try to express our oppression to them. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no one solvent for civil inequity, social and unconstitutional injustice, and the illusory response to affirmative action. However, if a critical mass of Americans can come together simultaneously to demystify the illusion by seeing and taking the time to care enough, we can see change. But what's the cost of the 4th of July to an African American? Thank you.
Well, this has been...
Yes, awkward, stereotypical, many things. He wants to divorce me and make you the next Mrs. Anderson, a woman without her own name.
You're Jacob's wife.
Yes, and that right there should have you running, screaming. Because I thought about killing you, not him, you. I thought about running you through all sorts of industrial machines.
He loves me. I'm sorry this hurts you, but...
Love is anesthesia. It puts you to sleep. It allows you to not overlook, not question, not care. And then by God and all his horny angels, it's an eye-opener.
Look, I didn't mean for any of this to happen. I'm not a bad person. I mean, I didn't want to fall in love, but I did. And we're happy. Is that what this is about?
Are you the next Mrs. Jacob Anderson?
Can we be adults about this?
No, adults are never honest. Let's be children. Let's throw rocks. Let's weep. Let's talk about all the things we actually think, but we won't.
Okay, look. He hasn't loved you for a long time. Don't you have any pride?
Tons of it, an ocean of it. Why don't you? Why do you love him? He says you can't find a job right now. He says you're so pretty and nice. Nice. You're what every man wants a woman to be. Nice. And here we both are, picking vegetables for the same man.
He's right. You are a total bitch.
Yes, I suppose so. A bitch, a cunt, a twat. Why is it always bitch that stinks? Oh yes, that's right. It implies I haven't been as nice as I should be. That I've revealed too much of myself. Well, Lisa, is it? You have such a cheerleader name. Do you cheerlead for him now? Do you tell him he's the bravest, the brightest, the best? I can see you doing it. The little pom-poms in your hand, your flippy little skirt. You look nice and navy. You know, I used to have a name. Now it's bitch. And second best is Mrs. Anderson. Why would you let him erase your name from your mind with his acid is sweet, numbing, acid. I'll take care of you. I'll take care of everything.
Wow. That was some speech. Save it for group therapy sometime. Hey, don't.
Hey, please, tell me why you love me. Tell me everything. And we can never talk again. I'll step aside. I'll let you have him. I'll be like an abortion of your lives. Something that never happened. Something that's straight to the tail. Please, if you love him, you wouldn't mind facing your enemy. We can go somewhere else if you wish.
No, Harriman's Market is just fine. I just tell you whatever, and you go away like a big puff of smoke.
You betcha.
You betcha. Jacob says you lie.
That's very funny.
You know, I think it's sad. It's probably why you two just didn't work out. I feel sorry for you.
That's funny too, because I feel sorry for you. Now here we are, both with so much pity in our hearts, with nowhere to put it. Do you pity me when you're beneath him?
Don't be disgusting. He said you could be disgusting.
It's just us. Are you gonna tell him of this meeting? Because I'm not.
Of course I am. I don't keep secrets.
Sleeping with the married man in your car is a secret. Giving him head on the side of the freeway is a secret. You know, he tells me things too, my dear. How refreshed he feels, how alive he feels. You're just like a glass of iced tea.
You know what? I think I've had enough of this.
Lisa, all I want is a confession. Is that so hard? Can you confess to me how you love my husband? It's hard, isn't it? Sleeping with him is easy. Tell me about it difficult, yet you say you have no secret.
Not from Jacob. I don't keep secrets from the man that I love. The man I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. Got that? You want a confession? Here it is. We met, we fought against it, and we gave in because it's right. Because it feels right. And yeah, I sleep with him. I sleep with him with nothing held back. Now, get on your broomstick and take a left turn.
The second Mrs. Anderson.
The only Mrs. Anderson.
No, there are many nameless women behind you, many before you. You are not the only one. And what a beautiful story. We met.
Is Makayla Reese. Why must I be the one when it's all ugly and ruggedly done to break off this high that I use as a coat to get by? Man, I don't know why. My head is spinning, moving more than the hip whine of a tree. I feel as though I touched this hot ground, wondering why am I back here? I don't want to be found. I touch down and I feel the rush of a cry, but I look next to me and I see a smile. Something so stunningly made me feel something I haven't felt in a while. Wow. I feel as though I take on certain things that should have stayed an inch and I take a mile, but I'm a villain. Wait, no, not me. Constantly giving this ongoing spilling of myself and lovey-dovey feeling? Man, what am I kidding? I use that as a way to cope. Reason why I chose that drug instead of heroin or dope. But I'm a villain because I had to let go. Even though you've made my soul great, never showing the sign of an ache that hurts the heart, teaching me things that I thought were smart. However, by not getting help for myself, whether to help that little black girl from running and straying away amongst that place like a nutty squirrel, she chose to face this quarrel head on, realizing that she is a con to herself, robbing the mind of mental wealth to save that little girl from running and straying and fighting amongst that feeling. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a scary word. Called healing. Thank you.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
All right. This poem is titled Respect Her. Get up. Get up. Get up. Get up. Why are you constantly in this slump? Never having the energy to overachieving this hump of injustice, inequality, indecisiveness, all these ins, but never any outs. Got you deep down, feeling all these doubts. Having these humans give you fishy treatment, making you believe that you were designed as a trout. using their broken heart as a weapon with those sharp edges to make large wedges in the holes you thought were healed up. However, you already knew what's up from the get-go. It didn't matter how much they infiltrated your soul, either fast or slow. Oh, no. You decided that you would just give it a go. Even though your mind is saying no more, that's enough, no more. Feeling this great idol on the shore between the two. Wondering, how did you get here and what to do? Why did you come here? Knowing you haven't pulled out that spear of the burdened soul. Wait. Please, don't touch that hole as it holds the spirit. Don't be too rough. Handle her with care, acting like you don't know how to steer it. Show her some respect. Get your foul hands up off her neck before you cause her to fall into a deep wreck of emptiness and dark galaxies. She is not your fallacy. She is more brain-addictly brilliant than her peers. Respect her. She is the most solemn, kind-hearted girl to appear in this show. Respect her. Her body is supercalifragilistically unique. From her head to her lightning strikes and her curves, to her weapons of transportation known as her feet. Respect her. Her words are like many soldiers ready on standby to fire. Respect her. She is the utmost epitome and has set the standard for beauty, not physical. Nothing she ever does will ever be minuscule. She is that girl, spiritually, mentally, and physically. Respect her. Thank you.
There were 6 finalists in the final round of program oral interpretation. In 6th place from Texas Southern University, Ileana Hall. In 5th place from Howard Speech and Debate, Willie White. In 4th place from Texas Southern University, Bryn White. In 3rd place from Tennessee State University, Aaliyah Holmes. In 2nd place from Tennessee State University, DeTraylon Hubbard. And in 1st place from Tennessee State University, Aaron Anderson. If I say your friend's name wrong, politely correct me, please. Some people got phonetics, some people don't on the paper. Like there's phonetics on the paper sometimes and sometimes it's not. So politely correct me because everybody's already had their name said correctly. Amen? Amen. Okay. Slam poetry, please take the stage. This is my favorite one.
Let's go, Makayla.
Woo!
This is when y'all gotta take all the photos and make extra noise. I am hella biased, so all the photos and extra noise. Like everybody wonderful, but you know, these my cheerings. Not technically, because, you know, anyway. Everybody beautiful. There were 10 finalists in the final round of slam poetry. In 10th place, from Texas Southern University, Trayvon Waddy. In 9th place, from Texas Southern University, Javion Cox. In 8th place, from Tennessee State University, Akira McDougall. In 7th place, from Howard Speech and Debate, Brielle Mitchell. In 6th place, from DBH Society VSU, in 5th place, from Russ College Speech and Debate Team, Makayla Turner.